I'm Amitabh Nag. I am the Chief Executive Officer of Digital India BHASHINI Division. Digital India BHASHINI Division is the implementation agency for BHASHINI, which is Bhasha Interface for India. It's a program by Government of India. So it's a program which actually looks at how do you transcend the language barrier. And when you're trying to transcend the language barrier, you're looking at digital systems which can, interact with natural language interface with you, either in text or in voice. So that means digital systems are able to understand what you're saying, and digital systems are also able to speak to you on what the information you're looking at. So while the transcending the language barrier is a piece of it, which is the mission, in effect, if you're using voice as a medium, you are also bridging the digital as well as the literacy barrier, because those who are on the other side of digital barrier can use voice as a medium to communicate. So the other people who are there on the other side of literacy barrier. So in some way, we are actually trying to make the society inclusive and empowered to an extent which is, which will take us to the last mile for all the service delivery as well as governance point of view. So initial challenge is, of course, of translation, that India has so many languages and each language, people need to understand. And AI as a technology and GPU as a processing power gave us the unique opportunity to actually build those, models which are supposed to translate. But as it evolved and as the art of possibilities came across, the use cases started moving into multiple directions, and also the latent need of the people. People were looking for some solutions which they were not saying. They were thinking that, they don't have a choice. But today, when they saw that they have a choice, they started looking at use cases which were much beyond the normal sequence of translation, quote unquote, the way we understand it. One of the use cases was that when Survey of India came back to us and said that they want to create a database or a map in 22 languages for each pin code. Now there they wanted to use BHASHINI because they wanted to transliterate the name of the place into multiple languages, right, using the ASR and transliteration technology. Now that was a use case which, firstly, that requirement was, came as a surprise to us, and that was a use case which we didn't think of so easily as such. When we are looking at the panchayat system of e-Gram Swaraj, and at the panchayat level, that system was till now running on English, and we made it 22 languages. It came up as a pleasant surprise that we have contributed so much that we are now at 2.7 lakh panchayats, and interestingly, at any point in time, it was no-brainer that they required this technology so badly, and so was. So there have been some use cases which have been, a dormant requirement for very long. There have been use cases which came up as part of increasing productivity, right? Which was basically a requirement which was there. There are some use cases which came up which actually, bridges the literacy barrier. So there is another type of use case which is there. So the use cases have been in all these areas: bridging literacy divide, bridging digital divide, increasing productivity, security, and those are the kind of things which we have been looking at. And this has given a lot of learning to the system as well as to us. The idea is that you have to actually integrate domain with tech to, see this happens. And especially when you look at social inclusion, there is a challenge because the people who are developing, and it is generally thought of, are basically coming out of the metro ecosystem. And people for whom the technology is getting developed, there is a gap in terms of the way it is understood. So, people have to, invest time in going to villages and other places to see that how people live there, react there, behave there, so as to build technologies which will enable and help them. So, quite a bit of challenge. But yes, I believe that at the end of the day, technology has to do some good for mankind to be successful.